Yo boys, it's Dan. Welcome back to another Premier League prediction video. This week it's game week number 14 and we have a very special guest. His name is Mr. Tyler, aka TJI Gamer.
Thanks, Dan, for allowing me to do the predictions for match day 14 of the Premier League predictions. And I'm ready to go to predict all the teams and all the games for those match day for 14 of the Premier League.
We've got like 10 games to do now. We're getting towards that. We're beginning to get less games and less games now towards the World Cup. Only a couple more games to go until the World Cup starts fully. 20th of November is the World Cup. There's only a couple more games to go until we hit that World Cup. And without further ado, let's get into game week number 14 of the Premier League. Now, we're starting off the first game with Leicester City versus Manchester City. Now, Man City are just Man City. They'll probably walk this. No, Man City. They'll probably absolutely smash them. But Leicester are good. Leicester did just beat Wolves 4-0. Managers Wolves still. But I'm gonna say Man City 4, Leicester City 0. And Tyler, what are you saying in this game, pal?
My Premier League prediction between Leicester City and Manchester City at the King Power Stadium. I reckon it's going to be a very easy game for Man City, I reckon. I know that Leicester City did very, very well to get back in winning momentum, obviously beating Leeds 2-0. And also on Sunday, they did win 4-0 away from home against Wolves. But in this game here against Manchester City, I'm going to go for Leicester City 1, Manchester City 3. And I think Erling Haaland will score all the 3 goals for Manchester City. So 3-0 Man City.
The next game, which is Bournemouth versus Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Spurs lost to Newcastle by 2-1. That was a big shock. Newcastle 2-1. Nobody would have thought that. And Bournemouth lost to West Ham with a controversial handball. I think it was a handball, 100% handball. Just saying it was a handball, maybe. But Spurs, they'll probably want to bounce back. But Bournemouth won't make it easy. I'll go 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. And Tyler, what are you saying, pal, in this game?
My Premier League prediction between Bournemouth and Tottenham Hotspur at the Vitality Stadium. Obviously, Bournemouth did actually pick up their first loss under the manager of Gary O'Neill, the interim manager at the moment for Bournemouth. But my prediction this match against Spurs, however, I think Spurs will probably get back in winning ways, I think, at the Vitality Stadium after losing to Man U and also lost as well to Newcastle. But I reckon they'll get back in winning form, and I reckon it's not going to be easy for Spurs, I reckon. I think Bournemouth will really probably give them a game. So I'm going to go for Bournemouth 0, Tottenham 1 at the Vitality Stadium on Saturday.
We're going to move to Brentford versus managerless and goal scoreless Wolves. That is right. Brentford are playing well. Brentford are playing really well, but Wolves still, without manager, still cannot find the back of the net. I don't know what's up with Wolves. They haven't got a manager. They sacked below lads, like I said, and they haven't scored many goals either. And they're not scoring goals. But no, Brentford are scoring goals. They're basically Brentford are scoring goals for fun at the moment. Yes, they did get back at 4-0 against Aston Villa, but I think Wolves won't score. I think Wolves will score. No, Brentford will score. Brentford 2, Wolves 0. And Tyler, what are you in for in this game?
My Premier League prediction between Brentford and Wolves on Saturday at the G-Tech Stadium in West London. Obviously for Brentford, however, they did actually lose in their last matchup against Aston Villa as they were frolicked by 4-0 against them at Villa Park on Sunday. But also for Wolves, on the other hand, they are obviously struggling with form at the moment. They lost 4-0 again against Leicester on Sunday as well. So both teams did actually lose 4-0 on Sunday. But they're playing each other, of course, this match day this weekend against each other. But I think this match is going to be a very interesting one. For Wolves, however, they haven't got a manager yet since they sacked Bruno Lage like 3 weeks ago now. But however, for Brentford, however, their home form's quite good. So I reckon it's going to be an easy win for Brentford. So I'm going to go for Brentford 2, Wolves 1 on Saturday.
And now move to a Graham Potter showdown. Brighton versus Chelsea. Now, yes, Graham Potter did leave Brighton a few games ago and went to Chelsea because of the money. But under the Brighton manager, don't know who he is, but they haven't won a game. Chelsea are still unbeaten. They're 8 unbeaten now, and all comes on the Potter. Now I'm gonna say Chelsea will win by 2-1, but I don't think how Graham Potter will get us. Graham Potter might not get an ovation. He might get he will get something at Brighton. And Tyler, what are you going for in this game, pal?
My Premier League prediction at the Amex Stadium on Saturday. There's going to be lots of a mix of emotions going to this game on Saturday between Brighton and Chelsea because of Graham Potter, a guy who managed Brighton last season. Did very well at Brighton to finish in 9th last season, but he did actually leave Brighton to join Chelsea due to the money and everything. So there'll be a lot of emotions going to this matchup. I don't know how the fans are going to react to Graham Potter returning back to his old club and how the fans will respond to him. But for Brighton, on the other hand, since Graham Potter left, they haven't even won a game since when Potter left the club way back in September. But for the other hand, for Chelsea, however, they've actually won every game under Graham Potter since he arrived at Chelsea a month ago. So I think this prediction, of course, on Saturday between Brighton and Chelsea is going to be a very funny one, I reckon. And I reckon Graham Potter's going to lose his matchup. I reckon it's going to be Brighton Hove Albion 1, and I reckon Chelsea 0. Only because I just feel that Brighton will probably want to really give Chelsea a game after what happened with Graham Potter. So I'm going to go for 1-0 to Brighton Hove Albion.
Now we move to Crystal Palace versus Southampton. Now, Crystal Palace had a very eventful draw. They had a very eventful game against Everton, which they lost 3-0. And Southampton, they took points off of Arsenal. They're only the second team this season to do that. The first team being Manchester United. Yay! The second team to take points of Arsenal, which means that now it's closed right up at the top of the Premier League. But I'm gonna say Southampton, they'll be on the run form. I'm gonna go Southampton 2. No, I'm gonna go Palace 2, Southampton 1. But it could easily go either way. And Mr. Tyler, what are you saying in this game?
My Premier League prediction between Crystal Palace and Southampton at Selhurst Park on Saturday. I reckon that's going to be a very interesting matchup. It's going to be for both sets of teams because obviously for Palace they did actually lose 3-0 to Everton last weekend, but for Southampton the other end they did actually got a point against a team who are top of the Premier League, Arsenal, at St Mary's on Sunday. So I reckon this game's going to be a very tight one, I reckon, and even Southampton are picking up form at the moment, obviously beating Bournemouth, getting a point over Arsenal, so they've actually gained 4 points in the space of 5 days. And I reckon this game here against Crystal Palace, I think is going to be a very tight one. And I reckon it's going to be Crystal Palace 2, Southampton 2 at Selhurst Park on Saturday.
And now move to Newcastle versus Aston Villa. We'll get on to Aston Villa and their management and their manager situation in a minute. But Newcastle, yes, Newcastle are playing good. They beat their home. I honestly think, comment down below Do you think Newcastle can get like a dark horse for top 6? Well, yeah, well, top 8 because of Europeans. Let me hear that. Do you think Newcastle are gonna get top half? Yes or no? Comment down below. If they are, then they're playing amazing. But a year on since their takeover, and Tyler will rip Williams on Amon is on Amon Wilson, their team's now beginning to gel, and Aston Villa, as you know, did sack Steven Gerrard, but on Monday or Tuesday, I think it was Monday, they announced Unai Emery has been under. He will take over from the 1st of November, so he won't be in for this game, but he will be in for the next match. So not this one, but the 1st of November. He officially starts work at Aston Villa, trying to claw them up the Premier League. He is unfinished business in the Premier League, and I think that Aston Villa will want to put on a show. I don't think they're going to get past Newcastle on their home form. Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 1. And Tyler, what are you saying in this game?
My Premier League prediction between Newcastle United and Aston Villa at St James's Park on Saturday. Of course, for Newcastle, they did very well. They did on Sunday. They did beat Spurs by 2-1, and obviously under Eddie Howe, they've done an incredible job. They've done in terms of what they've rebuilt throughout a whole year since the club was actually taken over by the Saudi Arabia takeovers, and now a year later, they've done incredibly well in the Premier League. But in this match here between Aston Villa as well, they've also done very well also on the weekend. They obviously won 4-0 to Brentford without Steven Gerrard in the helm. So it'll be a tight game, of course, even though they haven't got a manager yet as it stands at the moment for Aston Villa. But I think Newcastle might sneak a 1-0 win, I reckon, against Aston Villa. So I'm going to go for Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0.
Now move to the late kickoff. One of the 2 late kickoffs, Fulham versus Everton. Fulham beat Leeds at Leeds. This is Marcus Silva's going back to Everton, where he managed for a few seasons, about a season or 2. I'm not sure how many he was there for. But Fulham, they're playing well. Fulham are playing really well here. And I am going to say that Fulham will win, not by much though, by 1-0 to Fulham. And Tyler, what are you saying in this game?
The evening kickoff on Saturday between Fulham and Everton is going to be quite an interesting one as well, because both teams did actually win on last weekend's match day 13. Obviously, when Fulham did actually went to Leeds and won 3-2 over there at Ellen Road, and they've actually done a very well, incredible season they've done so far under Marco Silva, and also with Alexander Mitrovic scoring the goals for Fulham, and he hasn't slowed down at all since they got promoted to the Premier League, of course, right now. But for Everton, on the other hand, obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin returns back from an injury he had for the last few months he's been out for, and since he's been fit as well, and he also is going to get ready for the World Cup as well, we can get into the team for England. It's going to be quite an interesting one. But I think for this matchup at Craven Cottage in an evening kickoff on Saturday, I reckon it's going to be Fulham 2, Everton 1, and I think Fulham will get the 3 points in the evening game on Everton at 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. So 2-1 Fulham.
I like that, mate. Which is Liverpool versus Leeds United. Liverpool lost 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. Who would have expected that? But Leeds, they did lose, but heaped even more pressure on Jesse Marsh. He needs to find some results, but I don't think he will find it against Liverpool. So I'm going to go an absolute battering. Liverpool 3, Leeds United 0, to heap more pressure on Jesse Marsh. And Tyler, you agree with me or disagree with me, pal.
Another evening kickoff on Saturday is between Liverpool and Leeds United. Well, Liverpool have not done well at all in the last couple of weeks, of course. They did actually lose to Arsenal by 3-2. Obviously lost to Nottingham Forest last weekend by 1-0. It was a bit of a shock, really, how Forest actually turned over Liverpool on Saturday. But yeah, Liverpool are not doing quite well so far this season. They've been a bit slow, they've been, how the way they've actually performed. Even though we won 9-0 to Bournemouth, and they've really did pick up some good home results they've had compared to the away results away from home. But they are playing at home this weekend against Leeds, and obviously Leeds, however, are not doing very well themselves at the moment, and they're dropped into the bottom three after losing 3-2 to Fulham, and they've actually picked up quite a few losses, and also a lot of the fans at Leeds also have turned on Jesse Marsch sort of as well in the last couple of weeks. But for this matchup, of course, on Saturday evening, I reckon Liverpool's going to win that matchup, and I'm going to go for Liverpool 4, Leeds 1 at Anfield on Saturday.
I move to the league leaders in Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Now, how are Nottingham Forest going to come out on this game? Are they going to play against Liverpool, sit deep and then wait for a chance, or are they going to play attackively? If they're any sense, they're going to play defensively and just sit like we did against Liverpool. But Arsenal, Xhaka is, I don't know what's happened to Granit Xhaka right now, but he's on a mad one right now. Tyler's an Arsenal fan as well, unfortunately, but technically Arsenal fan. You're not in the league, but yeah. But I mean, Forest, I don't know how Forest are going to come out. I'm going to think it'll be close. Forest will sit deep. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal, because I think that Forest it could easily be a Forest win, but just for the purpose of the video, I'm going to go Arsenal 2, Arsenal Forest 0. And Tyler, what are you saying for this game, pal, as an Arsenal fan?
My Premier League predictions between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest at the Emirates on Sunday. We all know that Arsenal have done incredibly well so far this season. I never expected Arsenal to get at least almost 30 points in the space of 11 games so far this season under Mikel Arteta. And they've done incredibly well, they've done. And even Man City can't even catch up either, of course. Maybe they could do, maybe at the end, probably. I think they probably will do. Deep down, I think City might definitely win the league against us. But we are playing Forest on the other hand, and for Forest on the other hand, they did actually beat Liverpool by 1-0 last weekend by a shocker. But I'm not really convinced about Notts Forest at all, how the way they've actually came into the Premier League at the moment, because I expected Forest to have a good start to the season since they've been away from the Premier League for 23 years. And they only picked up a win against West Ham and also a win against Liverpool. And that's not really good enough for them. But they are playing Arsenal at our turf on Sunday at the Emirates. But I'm going to go for an easy win for Arsenal. I reckon it's going to be Arsenal 5, Nottingham Forest 0 at the Emirates on Sunday. So 5-0 Arsenal.
Okay, now move to the last game of the game week, which is Manchester United versus West Ham United. Now, Manchester United playing well. We did draw 1-1 to Chelsea with a Casemiro 90 plus 4th minute equaliser. Varane's injured. He looked like he was in tears. We don't yet know the state of the injury, but I can 95% confirm to you that he is at the World Cup. But he won't. Hopefully he'll be back soon. It means that Lindelof will have to play with Martinez. But Varane was forming a great partnership with Martinez. But we have to wish Varane to speed recovery and get back soon. Rafael, really doing the team, boy. That might affect this game, but I don't think it will. Ronaldo's back with first team training again now, and I'm going to go Manchester United. Oh, actually, West Ham. They're also playing well as well, West Ham. I'm going to go. I'm always the over-optimistic Man United fan. I'm going to go Man United 2, West Ham 0. I think it will be a scrappy but close game. And Tyler, what are you saying in this game?
My Premier League prediction between Manchester United and West Ham United at Old Trafford on Sunday evening, or around 4 o'clock kickoff. It's going to be a very interesting one. Obviously, when Ronaldo's not going to be part of the team, I don't think, after when he walked out on the United's players in the substitutes benches, of course, a couple of days ago now, and he was actually not played and not even in the whole team of Chelsea on Saturday. And without him there, that will be quite of a big problem. But United can still handle it without Ronaldo, the so-called superstar at United, of course. And they did really fought a lot well against Chelsea on Saturday without him in the team. And a great header from Casemiro in the last minute of the game. But for West Ham, however, on the other hand, they've not picked up very, very well. They haven't since the Premier League just started, of course, because the last 2 seasons, West Ham United have been really up there in the top 6 or top 7, but they've had a very slow start to the season under David Moyes. But at Old Trafford, I reckon it's going to be a win for Manchester United, of course. Without no Ronaldo in the team, and the team want to focus things for themselves without Ronaldo in the spotlight, I think United will win without him. And I reckon it's going to be Manchester United 1, West Ham United 0. And I reckon it'll be a goal from Bruno Fernandes to make it 1-0 to United. Also, under Eric Ten Hag will probably want to win this game as well to really catch up to that top 4 race. So I reckon it's going to be Man United 1, West Ham United 0 on Sunday's afternoon kickoff at Old Trafford. Thanks, Dan, for allowing me to do the Premier League predictions for the match day 14 of the Premier League, and I hope to do some more soon with you if you ask me to do some more. So there you go. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, TGI Gamer, if you want more content of me on there as well. And I think Dan will definitely put the link down on his description on his channel as well. So thanks for allowing me to do this, Dan, and best of luck.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, guys. That will bring game week 14. And if you have got this far, you would know that the next video on the channel is Comic-Con, because I'm currently there now. As you're watching this, I am there right now, vlogging it as well. So that will be up Saturday. Smash that like button and subscribe. Let's get 200 subs. When I have a surprise in store. So I will see you all tomorrow with Comic-Con 2022. Until then, peace out. See you all tomorrow.